We are back here on Girl Talk. We are here at Custom Audio Video. Our friend Iain has joined us.
Hello again.
'Tis the season. It is summer. It is gorgeous out. Sitting outside, outdoor kitchens.
Yep.
Everyone wants to be out of doors. So we're going to talk about something that's exciting today. It's funny, as we got ready to prepare for the show, you are talking sound and all of these amazing things. And I'm thinking as a designer, whoa.
You don't want to see anything, do you?
No, wow, this is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
We've talked about outdoor audio before in previous segments, and usually I'll bring out some portable piece, and it can be in the house and you go out by the pool and you carry it out there with you. But what we're going to talk about today is a permanent solution. So it's an installed solution for outdoors. In the landscaping, around the pool, whether you have a pool or not, you can use this whole system.
Exactly. Oh,
here.
I could see an outdoor kitchen. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. All right.
around about this. So it's a combination of a few pieces. This particular one's by a company called Sonance. And
I think we even have it on the front. You can
we
actually
do.
see it, yes.
This is a big cylinder thing, is an in-ground subwoofer.
Wow.
The basic system comes in a few configurations, but typically it's one subwoofer plus 8 of these nifty little satellite speakers.
Which is interesting to me because when I saw them, they looked like they could actually be landscape lights. So I can imagine strategically placed.
Yeah, which is the idea. You really don't know whether it's a speaker or a light. In this case, there's a ground spike, so these can spike in the ground wherever they need to be, and you would obviously disguise them in amongst the landscape. If it's a new house, the landscaping's fairly new, so probably at first you would see these.
Okay.
But as the bushes grow a bit more, these will just blend in. You won't see them at all.
Now, does this come, I don't know how to even ask this correctly, not as a set, but as a group? What if I have a bigger yard or a larger area?
So the typical configuration, like I said, it's one subwoofer. Now this thing, this gets buried in the ground. It can either be this way or there's another one which can go vertical in the ground.
Okay.
But the idea is the dirt would be up to here.
Okay.
And you would really only see this mushroom-shaped, pipe that brings the
And
base.
this comes out, right?
Yeah, well, it does for now. It wouldn't come out in the permanent installation.
Got
it would just stay in the ground. So this one subwoofer plus 8 of these satellites covers about 2,500 square feet.
Oh, good grief.
Which sounds a lot, but it's actually really not. Once you start to get outside, it fills up fairly fast. Typically, 6 to 8 feet apart, you would have these. So we can add on, we can have more subwoofers and more sats just as the space is bigger and bigger. The one thing with outdoor audio, if it's a permanent solution, is quite often you'll see that speakers are fixed onto the house, maybe under the soffit.
Okay.
So they point away from the house, which is fine for the landscaping, but of course it may disturb your neighbors over the fence.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
So the audio's high up on the house and you point it towards your neighbor's house. It's great for you at the pool, but it's going to disturb them. So the idea with this is, let's reverse it. Let's run wiring out around the other side of the pool and point these in the way. Okay.
Oh, I see exactly what you're saying.
So they'll be low in the ground, they won't be high up, they won't point towards your neighbors, so you obviously restrict that sound going to your neighbor's property. So
other than
yeah.
the fact that it's now part of my hardscape, obviously, is easy to maintain? They can be moved around?
Yeah, they can be moved around, but you really wouldn't want to do that. The wiring would be in the ground. Sometimes the landscapers, inadvertently cut this, but no big deal. It's easy to fix that.
Well, that was my next question is, how do you position this? In other words, do you come out, help me walk through it with my landscape architect or my landscaper, and we kind of position it?
Yeah.
What information helps you? Do you want to know how I use the space? What do you want to use?
Well, usually I'll look at the landscape plan itself, what plants are where. So I'll talk to the landscaper and usually they have a layout for that.
Okay.
So I'll see what's where. There might be some, concrete around the pool. Obviously, we can't put these in the ground around the concrete, but there's other solutions. We can actually put them in planters.
Okay.
Or we could not use the ground spike, but use a different bracket and fix them to trees.
Oh, that's actually that's a good idea.
So I'll look at that area and really decide how many of these in-ground subwoofers and how many of these SATs would cover the area.
It's so interesting as we're talking about outdoor living. My first thought is we're building something for my dad, and it's a patio, but we want we want breezes to go through, but I think rain. Obviously, this is all
meant to go outside, so it's
resistant.
weather resistant for sure. You know, there's speakers in here, there's a grill in here, but the speaker itself is, you know, weatherized, so it's capable of the kind of environments that we have around here.
It's pretty amazing,
humidity.
isn't it? Well, I never
good
thought about
stuff.
humidity, because humidity would be a killer too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, do you put one of these and then the speakers all around? Are there ever indications for
The
more than
larger
one?
the area, so usually the 2,500 square feet, it's one subwoofer and 8 of these. And then as we get larger areas, we could do 2 or more, you know, so essentially in groups of 1 sub and 8 SATs, so we could just double it as
Now,
we
we
go
talked about the landscape plan with the newer building. What about if now I see this, I'm really interested, call you to come out?
Yeah, for sure. The difficult part is trying to get wire from what feeds this. In other words, there's an amplifier in the house somewhere.
Right.
So trying to get wire from that location outside. Quite often with new construction, the clients will say, you know, I really don't want to do this right now, but what we'll do is we'll run wire to the service yard and it's just stubbed out in a box. So we can pick that up later on if in a couple of years they say, I really want to put these speakers in.
It's called master planning. As a
Yeah.
designer, it's a big deal to me. I really appreciate you coming. These are the kinds of things I think are so interesting and can make a huge difference in your caliber and quality of living at home.
I mean, it's great. You know, you don't have to have loud music outside. You kind of get that Disney feel. You know,
Ambient.
you
I
walk around
love
and you hear the music, but you don't know where it's coming from. So.
Oh, that's amazing. We want to thank you.
Thank you.
We want to thank all of you for joining us here on Girl Talk. Please have a great week. Bye-bye.